Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. First of all, thank you for all the get well messages. You left comments underneath my previous video because I've spent most of the last 24 hours throwing up, but I've stopped. So that's a step in the right direction, isn't it? Yeah, thanks for that anyway. I appreciate the kind words. I want to talk about Lawrence Okolie because lo and behold, he is ranked in the new WBC heavyweight rankings, as number 5. Lawrence Okolie, number 5. Can you believe it? Well, I can't. And the reason I can't believe it is because it's like saying that, 2 + 2 = 5, or, bears don't shit in the woods or whatever, or up is down. No, this is obviously an absurdity. Number 5 in the heavyweight rankings, Lawrence Okolie. The rest of them are. We know that Usyk's obviously the champ, but we know that. But I'll read the rankings out, and you tell me what you think. All right, Tyson Fury's number 1. Okay, former champion, lost only once. Ajit Kabayel at 2. No problem with that. Ajit Kabayel is coming off 2 great wins. Very, very underrated, avoided, overlooked fighter. Martin Bakoley's at 3. Excuse me. That's what happens when you don't get much kip. Martin Bakoley's at 3, coming off that excellent win over Jared Anderson. 4, Zhilei Zhang. All right, no problem. 5, we've got Okolie. Joshua at 6, blown out of the water by Dubois, but still he's a past achievements. Yeah, you can put him in the top 10. Fabio Wardley at 7. Coming off his 1-round blitz in the rematch against Fraser Clark. F.A. Ajagba at 8, seems to be treading water a bit, but holds the WBC silver title for what that's worth. Bakamir Jalilov is at 9, or am I up to 9? Yeah, 9. And then 10, Frank Sanchez, who lost to Kabayel. Claims he had a knee injury or a leg injury of some sort, and it did look like he had something going on with. Filip Hrgovic is at 11. Luis Ortiz at 12. How old is Ortiz now? He must be about 100. Otto Warren at 13. Deontay Wilder at 14, and then so on and so on. We're going now to these sort of also-rans and the guys who are obviously past their best. So why is Okolie at number 5? Well, quite simply, he held the WBC bridgerweight title, and for what that's worth. And he has given that up without making a single defence. And has claimed himself a ranking in the heavyweight division because he held that title. Now, in a sense, I could carry on talking here, but you know how ridiculous that is. You know that Lawrence Okolie he's never had a fight at heavyweight. First of all, you know that he's never proved himself to any degree to be anywhere near the top 10. He's a former cruiserweight champ with the WBO, not with the WBC, and he had one fight which lasted less than a round at bridgerweight, and suddenly, because he once held their title, he's ranked at number 5. I mean, this is probably it's one of the most bizarre rankings I've ever seen. Or I don't know, actually, maybe I shouldn't say that, because when you think about the WBA and their rankings, they're beyond the pale as well, aren't they? But number 5, I mean, the Rozansky fight, Rozansky, the Polish fella, who he blasted to bits, previously undefeated in his late 30s. Okolie did him in a round, won the bridgerweight title. Prior to that, he'd lost his last fight to Chris Billum-Smith, lost his cruiserweight title, had looked terrible against, or totally uninspired, to put it mildly, against David Light. He's had many, many absolute stinkers, totally dull, safety first, grab and hold fights at cruiserweight during his reign. He had that ridiculous bust up with Eddie Hearn, then went over to Sky and Ben Shalom, a boxer. And his career just, if ever there was an example of sabotaging a career, it seems to be Lawrence Okolie's. I mean, you could argue that Anthony Yard hasn't had a great, he hasn't he hasn't done things the right way. I mean, but at least he's had 2 world title shots at light heavy against 2, leading light heavyweights. He fought Beterbiev, and prior to that, he fought Kovalev, who was past his best, but nevertheless, Yard, had he had more experience, could probably have beaten Kovalev. Almost stopped him in the sixth round anyway. So he's kind of messed his career up with by avoiding, or shall we say, manoeuvring himself into a world title shot without ever beating a world title opponent. But Okolie hasn't even fought in this division. I mean, who out of those fighters I mentioned, do you think Okolie would beat Tyson Fury, Caballel, Okolie, Zhang, Joshua? I don't think he'd beat Joshua, and Joshua's coming off a terrible defeat. Wardley, I'd pick Wardley to beat. By the way, these are probably knockout victories. A Jagba, you think Okolie would beat a Jagba? Jalalov? Nope. Sanchez, a fit Sanchez? Nope. Even Luis Ortiz, all 85 years of him or whatever he is? No, I think Ortiz might well win that fight. Wallin? All right, so we're getting then, to the outside the top 10, where you can at least conceivably see Okolie giving these fighters, these sort of lesser names, a decent fight. But when you've got a guy who struggled against someone like David Light, who had some horrendous safety first, punch and grab, maul fights in his cruiserweight days against these bigger men, you think he's going to beat him? I personally don't. So anyway, I thought I had to mention this because it's just such a strange ranking, and completely and utterly undeserved. But maybe you disagree. Maybe you think Okolie was weight trained at cruiserweight. Maybe you think now that he's at heavyweight, because he did look good in that one fight at bridgerweight, he looked pretty good. So maybe you think now he's moved into what is perhaps his natural division, the heavyweights. Maybe you think he's going to surprise a few people. I don't know. Leave your comments below. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me. I don't think it's a dispute that he doesn't deserve to be ranked, but maybe you think at heavyweight Okolie will have more strength, more power. He'll be more confident. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Comments below as always. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the like button as well, because they count the likes. It's their algorithm, or something to do with an algorithm. Yeah, whatever. All right. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I will speak to you all soon. Bye for now.